We've all written our fair share of crazy CSS selectors, and there's actually different ways to compose a CSS selector. So I'd like to go over the many benefits and drawbacks to each approach. The first way is the vanilla way, and that's just utilizing the cascade. We have a generic selector that represents all of our base styles, say nav. Then later down the road, if we want to extend those base styles, we use another class, another selector. The benefit of this is we cut down on CSS bloat because we're not duplicating styles each time we extend that generic class. And if there's a change that we need to make for every single nav, then hey, we can just use that base generic class that we made. Though the problem with this is you have to fight with the cascade. You have to fight with specificity of your classes. And I think this is one of the main frustrations with CSS. If you change one thing in one place, you might not have expected it to change in this other place. And that's frustrating. The next approach is a single unique class. And this tries to address the drawbacks of the cascade. Not having to deal with it, not having to deal with specificity, just styling within an isolated context for your component. So basically, for every element in your component, you have a unique class that represents that element. And the good thing about classes is you can just use the same class on the same element throughout that component. But of course, because you're not using that class anywhere else other than that component, you don't have to deal with the cascade or specificity or any styles conflicting with each other. It's all nice and easy to maintain. However, as your components grow and grow, it's very hard to come up with names, and that often leads to inconsistencies. And because we're using language to compose those classes, you can make some pretty ambiguous sounding classes that can often be misleading or confusing. So when it comes to maintenance, it might get a little unwieldy over time. And because you're not using a generic class that can get shared across other extended classes, your CSS file is going to get super. And of course, that might affect the end user when they go to view your site. It'll take a little bit longer to see the styles. In that same vein, there's CSS modules, which has the same approach, but it utilizes the build system in order to do that. So unique classes will be generated for you. The problem with this, I find, is when I go to debug my website, I'll see these crazy unique IDs and I'm like, wait, which component is that from? Okay, it's that component, but like, which class is that in my file? And that's a very difficult experience to have to edit that. Then a more modern approach would be utility classes, where you have one class that does one thing, and you have a lot of classes on one element, as opposed to one class that does a whole lot of things and one class on that element. The result is you get all the benefits. You don't got to deal with the cascade. What is that? You don't got to deal with specificity. What is that? And naming things? Yo, I named my dog Curry. It was pancake, waffle, curry. That's just food. It's hard to name stuff. So why deal with it? The other amazing thing that I love about utility classes, and I've talked about this in my previous video, Tailwind CSS Review, where are you? You're around there somewhere, where all of your styles are co-located with your HTML. So you don't gotta bounce around files trying to pick apart, okay, I gotta go to that file to make them changes on them styles. I gotta go to that file to make that markup. And then you have to link it in your brain. Yo, that's too hard. That's too hard. So it's right there with you. It's pretty darn cool. Though a lot of people, despite those amazing benefits, do not like that it muddies the markup, and that's completely understandable. It does. And over time, you might get used to that, or you might not. It's up to you. So there are a lot of different ways to approach writing a CSS selector. There's the cascade, which takes generic styles and extends them. There's single unique class, which helps you write styles in an isolated component environment. Then there's utility classes, where all of your styles are co-located with your HTML. Experiment with each one to see which work best for you. And if it's sticking to your licking, then stick with it. And as always, I'm here to help. So if you have a CSS question, let me know in the comments, and I'll help you out as best as I can. Now go CSS some keys off, yeah? Where'd you go? Oh gosh, I'm stuck here. I'm trying a new way of making cuts and I just freeze and don't think about anything. Or I try to think of the next part. Okay, I got this. I forgot where I was. Can I get behind here? Is that you? Aunt Jemima, is that you? I see you. So go CSS some keys. Yeah? Oh. That was close. Oh, hello? Oh, hello there. Oh, I'm not stuck. Oh boy. Oh, I'm not stuck. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you're so sweet, baby. You're so sweet. I love it when you talk sweet to me. Yeah. I'll give you a big kiss. Are you CSSing your keys off? Yeah, it's that time. It's that time to CSS your keys off. Okay, night night now. Where's the makeup, baby? Okay. Goodbye. Good night.
Blah 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 blah. Dip 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 blah 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 blah.
I'm recording. I'm recording. Don't you dare, girl. Don't you dare give me them barks. You hear that? I heard that.